everyone, Mr. Smith again, this time to talk you through the English literature paper. This paper one, this paper will have the Shakespeare question and the 19th century novel. This is what the front page will look like. The time that you will be allowed for this question is 1 hour and 45 minutes. You will also be given a booklet that you are expected to write in, which will be separate to this, but that will be provided for you in the exam. This is your question paper. The instructions ask you to use black ink, and the instructions tell you that there is a source, a section A, and a section B. So that will be section A being the Shakespeare, section B being the 19th century novel. The text that we do Macbeth, Shakespeare, and we do A Christmas Carol for the 19th century novel. These are the only questions that you need to answer. You will find in this booklet that there are other questions for other texts, some of which you may have seen. For example, Romeo and Juliet is on there. You do that in year 7. But you are not to answer that question. You are answering the Macbeth question and the Christmas Carol question. You spent 2 years on it, so it would be silly of you to do any other, really. Okay, so it looks like this. You will get a whole itinerary of where the different questions are, a little introduction page here, and you can see there that the Macbeth question is on pages 4 to 5. There's lots of other Shakespeare questions there that we're going to completely ignore. And then if we look down here, we've got the Christmas Carol questions on pages 16 to 17. Okay, so the Macbeth question. It will look something like this. Read the following extract from Act 5, Scene 3 of Macbeth, and then answer the question that follows. So it will tell you what act and scene this section is from. You should make a note of that, highlight, underline which act and scene this is from. Because remember, when we're answering this question, we need to show that we understand the whole of the play. We have a picture of the whole of the play and how characters develop throughout. So it's important to know that where this particular extract comes from. At the point in the play, Macbeth hears that the English army is approaching and asks the doctor for a report about Lady Macbeth. We then have the extract. We then get to see the question. Starting with this conversation, explore how far Shakespeare presents Macbeth as a male character who changes during the play. First thing I would do is I would underline the focus of the question, Macbeth as a male character who changes during the play. So we've got kind of two little bits there. Macbeth as a male character. So instantly I'd be thinking, right, masculinity. Why is that important? And then I would also think about the changes. What is it that makes him change? What is it that encourages him to go through this change? So you've got the witches that do that, you've got Lady Macbeth that does that, and you've got his own vaulting ambition, his own Hamartia that does that. And that's what I would be thinking and writing down underneath. I would then be thinking about what quotations I know that are related to this question. Because remember, although it says starting with this conversation, starting with this extract, you only need to reference that extract once. The more important bit, the marks that you will gain, the more marks you will gain will be from your own knowledge, from what we have revised, what you've used revision cards to do, the things that we've done in lesson for 2 years. That's where you're going to really do well here. Okay. So a male character that changes during the play, vaulting ambition would be one quote that I would think of. I would then list off as many as I could that are related to that. I would also list some keywords. So thinking about the fact that he starts as brave, he starts as someone who is lauded. He then goes on this transition, and we can talk about his hamartia, we can talk about his tragic downfall. We can then talk about how he becomes a bit of a tyrant, and thinking about the keywords that are related to this. And again, I would list those as well. I would then start to think about the extract itself. What part of this extract can we identify that either A, we know, or B, we can reference and talk about? Okay, so it's about trying to link some part of this to what you already know, the knowledge that you already have. As you can see here on line 21, we've got the "Give me mine armour." We've looked at that in class. We know that quotation. We know that links to his change throughout this play. He's changed from a brave soldier who becomes this evil, backstabbing tyrant, who then comes back to not brave and, not a good person, but a character who is willing to fight again. And that is kind of highlighted through that quotation. Okay. Then I would think about a plan. What do I want my overall argument to be? What is my overall argument about Macbeth as a male character who changes? Personally, for me, I would look at, for this question, I would look at Hamartia and Tragic Downfall and look at the various elements and the various inputs from different characters and different ideas that resolve and end up with him changing as a character. Okay, and I would think about a clear focus, right? And I know that I start my clear focus with Shakespeare. So Shakespeare deliberately depicts Macbeth as a male character who changes through the play due to his Hamartia, in order to, and that's when your writer's intention comes in order to solidify King James's position, in order to identify, those are the ones that we're going to go for, the ones that we really know well, using them in there. You then think about how you want your answer to flow. Do you want it to be chronological? Do you want these things to happen chronologically? Do you actually want to start with this extract and then go backwards? Both of which is absolutely fine. Whilst we're doing this, though, we're fitting in our key quotations, fitting in the analysis that we really know well, and then also fitting in some writer's intentions and those keywords. Remember, the success criteria for literature is exactly the same for this question, for Christmas Carol, and for Inspector Calls. It's your clear focus at the beginning to set your argument up, and your argument should flow from there. It is your evidence, or E. It is your writer's methods and analysing those methods in WM, and then it is looking at the writer's intentions in WI. Also scattered throughout should be your keywords, your KW. Okay, because you get an hour 45 on this paper, this would be 52.5 minutes that I would suggest you use on this question. Probably about 5 of those to plan, and then the rest to answer. So you're looking at about 45, 47 minutes to actually answer this question, and it should be consistent writing. You shouldn't have time to stop and put your head on the desk, etc. This is a hard exam. You should be writing the whole time, or thinking about what you want to put next, or how to kind of incorporate the quotations and keywords you put in your plan. Also important to note that this question, there is 4 marks for your SPAG, so spelling and your punctuation and your grammar, really important, and therefore I would probably spend a minute, 2 minutes just rereading your answer, making sure you've not made any silly mistakes, you've not forgot a capital letter for Shakespeare, or missed the E off the end of Shakespeare, or not put a capital letter for Macbeth. They are incredibly important for getting those marks. Okay, we would now move on, skip all the rest of the Shakespeare questions, and we know we're looking for a Christmas Carol question. Okay, so section B, 19th century novel. Here we are, Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. The thought process that you would go through is exactly the same as Macbeth. So you'd read the question and you would highlight focus. Read the following extract from chapter 2 of A Christmas Carol. Now, it's interesting that says chapter 2 because we know they're actually staves. A stave and a chapter for this instance is the same thing. We know they're called staves, but in this it's called chapter, absolutely fine. So I'd highlight that because then you know where this extract comes from. Again, we're going to look at the novel as a whole, so it's important to know where it comes from. In this extract that goes to Christmas Past, shows Scrooge's last meeting with Belle. And the question says, starting with this extract, explore how Dickens presents the effects of greed in A Christmas Carol. So again, we're highlighting the effects of greed. We know that that's what we're going to be looking at. Once I see that, I'm thinking, right, which characters are greedy in this novel? And we know it's Scrooge. So we're thinking about quotations that prove that, quotations that prove Scrooge's greed. Equally, we could be thinking about quotations from the end of the novella that prove that Scrooge isn't greedy. Again, we could also have a look at other characters such as Fezziwig, who we know is not greedy. Fezziwig, for example, is used as antithesis of Scrooge to highlight, or a foil for Scrooge, to highlight Scrooge's real greed and avarice. So that is something we can be thinking about. Saying the word avarice there, again, we should be writing down our keywords. So avaricious, miserly, misanthropic, allegory, etc. Get those keywords down. We are going to use them. Okay, I would then have a look at the extract. Is there anything there that we have looked at? Anything that we know? Instantly, I'm drawn to another idol has displaced me. We know, and we've looked at the idea of a golden idol replacing Belle in Scrooge's life. that being money. Another idol has replaced me. That is something we can talk about. Again, though, with the extracts, you only need to refer to them once in your answer. They don't need to, it doesn't all have to be from the extract. You've got loads of good ideas and good analysis that we've been taught for 2 years. So use it. It's really important to use what you know and what you're good at. Think about the idea of motifs, because motifs run throughout the novella and can really anchor your answer for this question. Okay, you would follow, again, in your planning and then in your writing, the same process. So, what's your clear focus going to be? Dickens deliberately depicts Scrooge as avaricious in A Christmas Carol 2. That's when your writer's intention would come in. Why has he done that? What message is he trying to get out to the reader? We're then thinking, so we've got our clear focus, we're then thinking about our evidence. What quotations can we use? What writers' methods then are using those quotations? How can we analyse those quotations? What are they telling us? Why has Dickens done it? And then finally, some more writers' intentions wherever we need to, flowing throughout our answer. Your clear focus should anchor your answer. It should give you a clear way, a clear argument that you're going to follow for the rest of this answer here. Again, this is worth 30 marks. It's worth exactly the same as the first question. So we're going to be spending 47.5 minutes on this question. We should be looking for 3 good quality sides of writing where possible. Don't worry about kind of how many paragraphs or is this going to be enough? We're aiming for 2 to 3 sides of quality writing. That is what's going to get you those 30 marks if you have answered in a thorough manner. Okay, I have confidence in you guys in this paper. You did really well in your mocks. There's going to be lots of revision for you to be doing between now and the summer. We've got a great chance of smashing this, so good luck. See you in the next one.